This video is brought to you by no one. We just bought another one of these stands.
Brought to you by Lawrence Technology Systems.
That's right. Brought to you by us.
We doing it.
So this is not an actual paid review. We bought this with our own money. And what we're assembling here, you're going to see in a second, is the triple monitor stands that we've got throughout the office. I've talked about it before as I've had it in my office, but I'm doing a time-lapse video while Steve assembles it. He chose here, not the studio, because this is where he dumped the boxes out and wasn't about to move them.
Yeah.
But once this is all put together, we're going to kind of show you the process of once it's assembled, how it works, how solid it is, and it's just a nice way to hold the monitors on here, even if they're different sizes, which just also makes this interesting. We have different size monitors that are going on here as well. So, well, he's going to finish assembling it, and then we'll cover the details. But
like a bow.
Well, it looks like a bow here. Yeah. Wow. It's kind of heavy.
Yeah.
But it does look like a bow.
And the stand.
That's neat. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. All right. Well, I'll let
Eric
him do this, and then
Come
in a few minutes it'll be done. All right. So the triple stand is all assembled. We have these monitors on it. No, they're not all three identical. We happen to have this one, and then because it's a little bit older, we ordered similar ones for the side, but they're all close enough. They're all Asus monitors, but that's not really the relevant part of this. And before anyone complains about the cable management, this is not the final resting place. We're still remodeling the back of our office a little bit, and this will eventually go just like the one in the back does. Actually, this one's going over to where Kyle sits. Kyle's going to the back, and none of that's really relevant, but that's why we haven't really finished it. But while it's here, it's easy for me to show you the back of it and how everything articulates. So each of the end monitors has its own articulating mount. This adjusts height, and then it pivots left and right, so the monitor can swing either way. And then this adjustment here, you loosen this, and you can slide it back and forth to accommodate whichever size monitor you want. So this is all very easy to adjust to whatever size monitors you have on here without a lot of fuss. I really like this. Now, one nice thing compared to when I got these years ago that I have in my office is this is much easier. It has a lot more options for adjusting the height, so you can center the monitors. And it's just a simple Allen head screw. Mine had a really stupid Phillips head screw that just had very minimal amount of adjustment, so that's a much improved design from the one I got several years ago. The base and the arm and everything else is still the same. Now the center monitor, you set the height by choosing a spot back here. There's two screws that hold it in. It's not like it's a friction grip, so you have to choose the height you want, and you got the screw holes in the back here. And then this just sits on like a ball cup style mount with a little tensioner. So once you set this in for the VESA mount and you set the tension, you can adjust the monitor all you want and then set it down so it gets exactly the angle you want and lock it in. It doesn't have, like I said, as much motion as the ones on the end, but that's the reason the ones on the ends have the motion, is so this one doesn't have to. So once this is set and you lock this down and you tighten the little Allen head here, the monitor is set and in position, and then you can move the other ones on there. Also, you kind of notice that this curves around because this brings the monitor back around to you. Now, for cable management, you can run some of the cables up through this part here and then bring them all the way out back up the top here, if that's how you wanted to bring them. Like for a webcam, you could set it up here. But for the monitors themselves, ideally you just use these, clip them together, and zip tie it. Once we have this in place, we'll have it all managed cables. And I've actually, with my own, zip tied them all across this back bar right here to keep everything nice and clean and out of the way, so it comes up the back. Now this base right here is a very heavy base. Now there's two ways you can mount this. When you have this base, and I'll lift this up, this little vanity cover, this is bolted to the base, but the other option you have is removing the base and then bolting this right down flush to the table itself. So you drill a hole through the table, and you've got a bracket that goes underneath like a plate, and then a screw that comes up from the bottom and screws into it to hold it there, so you don't need the base in front of it. In this case, we're leaving the base in front of it because, one, well, obviously this is not where it's permanently going to go. Two, we like to be able to easily just pick it up and move it because of where it is going, and it makes it easier to rearrange.
In my office, I went ahead and did drill the hole and mount it solid through. It's a solid mount when you do it that way, but it is nice having the base. You just have to have this sitting out in front of it.
So even with the base in front of it, I'll move the keyboard out of the way here. It doesn't look bad. It's so a nice look, and it makes it, like I said, we can actually move this around a little bit or even pick the whole thing up, which I'm not going to do by myself because that'll end in disaster. I'm not big on dropping things. Definitely either take the monitors off or a 2-person, 3-person job to make sure you don't make a mess of all this. But from an articulation standpoint, these will swing way out of sync, way in alignment. The tricky part is, because of the way this curves around, is getting the height and everything just right, and I probably messed it up, but Eric will have to deal with it. He's the new guy that this is for, and well, I've now made a mess. That's okay, I don't have to fix this. That's his problem. But it's not hard to get right. You just gotta keep moving them a little bit, getting the tension set. Now you can tighten each of these to make sure there's plenty of tension and get that height. So if you really want it dialed in, it's a little, time taking here, because when you move it a little bit, it pops back into place. So you kind of got to move it and then let it go back into place like that, and then you can get it perfect. But I've been using this monitor setup for quite a while. Very good for productivity and really solid. I'll show you mine real quick. So I put the camera where I usually have my chair, so you guys can get an idea of, well, what it looks like instead of when the webcam is pointing here. This is 180 out if you've watched any other tutorial videos. So the webcam's there, and the triple monitor setup, you can see it's really nice. With it curved, it brings it close to you, so I'm not further away from this monitor when I sit here in the center, so I can just pan easily back and forth. I've seen some people go for the larger double up monitors, but I don't like having to look up all the time. I find having everything across this plane of vision works really well for me with this, and it's very efficient. Now, I didn't go for the stand because I'm not going to be moving things around, so as you can see, it's really clean. It's bolted right to the desk here. And I have all the cable management, so it comes up the back, so there's nothing showing under here. I have an office tour video I've done before. I can link it below to see how I did my cable management. Basically, everything's just hidden very tight up against here, and I have the slide out with the keyboard and mouse. Now, the only thing different is I got the lights on to show this better. And generally when I'm working in my office, I don't keep the lights on. I only have them on when I'm doing paperwork. When I'm doing any actual work, it's like this. But it's all very solid, as you can see. So it doesn't wiggle around setting things on my desk. I'm leaning on my desk to get the monitors to move. So general sitting here and typing on a keyboard, no wiggle, no wobble. Like I said, this is very, very solid. Of course, this is a good solid Formica countertop that we have mounted here against the wall. So if you're interested in purchasing one of these, I'll leave an Amazon link in the description below. But in terms of ones we've purchased a few of these. They work wonderful. I like the improved design, makes them a little bit easier to tweak. But honestly, once these are in position, I don't usually mess with them much. Mine's been there now coming up on like 1.5 years since we moved to this building, and I put them there and I had them at my old office. Once I have adjusted them, that's it. Tighten up the screws and just use them. So it's not something that I think really requires much tweaking once you have it in position. Matter of fact, it's so painstaking once you want everything, you get about your desk, you want it perfect. Once it's perfect, I tighten everything really tight because I don't want anything to move. But if you have any questions, concerns, leave them in the comments below. Thanks. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and click the thumbs up. Leave us some feedback below to let us know any details, what you like and didn't like as well, because we love hearing the feedback. Or if you just want to say thanks, leave a comment. If you want to be notified of new videos as they come out, go ahead and hit the subscribe and the bell icon. That lets YouTube know that you're interested in notifications. Hopefully they send them, as we've learned with YouTube. Anyways, if you want to contract us for consulting services, you go ahead and hit lawrencesystems.com, and you can reach out to us for all the projects that we can do and help you. We work with a lot of small businesses, IT companies, even some large companies, and you can farm different work out to us or just hire us as a consultant to help design your network. Also, if you want to help the channel in other ways, we have a Patreon. We have affiliate links. You'll find them in the description. You'll also find recommendations to other affiliate links and things you can sign up for on lawrencesystems.com. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.